So you're thinking about moving to Pueblo, Colorado, but maybe you're not sure, where exactly do I move? Where do I go once I get there? Or maybe you're familiar with here, but you're just not sure where you want to go next. Well, let's take a look at the map today, because I'm actually going to show you where everything is located in proximity to the most recent neighborhood that we filmed on the north side. So when it comes to Pueblo being divided up, we actually don't have suburbs here. We have several different sides of town. So we're going to look at that and show you how close it is to nearby larger cities, nearby large airports. So let's get inside the computer and take a look of what Pueblo's got to offer. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know all there is to know about living in Pueblo, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on all the latest market trends. Hi, I'm Krista, local realtor here in Pueblo, Colorado, and I grew up here since I was a little girl. I'm a Colorado native. So you're in good hands on this channel when it comes to having the scoop of Pueblo, the scoop of Colorado, the ins, the outs, the growth, the plans. So let's cover it all here. You can always come back here for more resources, and whether you're looking to make a move in the next 10 days, maybe 100 days, doesn't matter. We love connecting and helping people make that a smooth transition. So be sure to grab our contact information from the description box below, and we look forward to helping you on your next move. And in the meantime, maybe we'll see you around. Okay guys, so we're inside the computer now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the maps of Pueblo. So there are several different areas of Pueblo. It is not a suburb city because it's just not large enough. So there are several different areas, okay? And we're going to look at that here. You can see the map as a whole. We have Pueblo here. We have Pueblo West out here. So let me just bring up our tool here, and I'm going to be able to circle some things and just kind of show you. So where we just filmed recently was here on the north side. This is going to happen. I'm not perfect with the tool, so bear with. But we recently filmed here on the north side, okay? So when we first started filming, we were spending a lot of time here on the south side. So this whole area is really kind of what's considered the south side of Pueblo. It's one of the most, original OG places of Pueblo. But then they built the north side and kind of continued on east. And then now Pueblo West is something that, although it was built a long time ago as well, there really wasn't much out there. But in the last several years, it has become a hot spot for lots of people to move to. It's grown tremendously. And the size of it is actually starting to turn into, as far as the spaciousness and the size, the diameter, if you will, of it is almost the size of Pueblo and maybe even a little bit bigger. Now, if you consider these areas a part of Pueblo as well, then you could say it's not quite bigger yet, but it's kind of inching there. So we were on the north side. So here's kind of where you see Pueblo. That's like the center of Pueblo. That's going to be downtown. The north side is going to be kind of like the south side in terms of it's pretty easy to get to I-25. The other main highway that we have here is this Highway 50 West is what they call it. And then you have Business 50, which if you split here and come over to Business 50, will go out towards Avondale, what we call the county. Vineland is out there. Blend is kind of the beginning of the county. And then the further east you go, the more you're going to get into what we call the county. So Avondale is pretty far out there. And Boone as well. And then you start getting into a whole different area called Fowler. So that's if you go really far east. But let's talk about the north side, okay? So is it easy to get to 25? Yes, absolutely. You can jump on 50 here pretty easily and head over. We've talked about this before in our videos, but if you're new to us, you haven't seen those videos, I'm just gonna mention this, that when it comes to Pueblo is very easy to get from one place to another within, I would say the average time is between 10 and 15 minutes. Now, of course, you're gonna have exceptions to that. If you're in Pueblo West and you're trying to get all the way over here to Avondale, you're going to be looking at 30 to 40, depending on traffic, the weather. Most days are sunny and dry here anyway, but if it is, a little bit snowy or rainy or what have you in the seasons, then of course that could impact the time. But for the most part, when you're trying to get somewhere in Pueblo, depending on where you are, let's say you're in the center, really you could branch out to any side, right? It kind of goes around any side there. 10, 15 minutes. It's not like your bigger cities. I've lived in Denver, and even something that should take 5 to 10 minutes takes 30 minutes because the traffic is so bad. One of the things that Pueblo can say for themselves is that, yes, they have, of course, a rush hour and traffic, but it's nothing like what you're going to see in, say, cities like Colorado Springs or Denver. And Pueblo is growing tremendously. So we do have, our own, it used to be an aircraft museum. You can see though, there's a couple runways here, and they've actually recently expanded flights. So you can get charter flights now from Pueblo to Denver. So there's a little bit more options that open up there, because before the airport here was, well, as you can see, it was kind of like a museum, right? So if I take you here to zoom out, I just want you to get like a big picture of where Pueblo sits. So if you head north on 25 here, but you go north on 25, you're going to hit Fountain. Fountain is like the south part of Colorado Springs. And then obviously the center of Colorado Springs, which is a much larger city than Pueblo. As far as population, Pueblo's got 111,000 people. This is 2025, and they're saying about 6% growth in the next 5 years. So it's not going to get huge, but Colorado Springs is much larger. There is a lot of military bases that are there. So there's already a lot more people moving in and out of the area all the time because of the military bases, excuse me. So that, helps Colorado Springs stand out, just because they have all the bases there and they are quite larger. Now, one of the things that they have there is an airport. We were talking about Pueblo has the small airport. You can get charters over to Denver, but when you're looking at an airport, you can go up from Pueblo, and especially the north side of Pueblo where we just filmed, which is maybe, we were on the south side to start. So just to give you an idea, north side to south side, 10 minutes, 15, depending on how far back in the north side you're going. North side to Avondale, 15 to 20. North side to the east part of Pueblo, 10 to 15. I would say the average time to get to anywhere in Pueblo is about 10 to 15, like I said earlier. So 2 hours-ish north of us is going to be Denver. Okay, everybody is pretty familiar with Denver, Colorado. It's our capital here. And then Colorado Springs is that city that's in between, and then you have Pueblo down here. So they do have, in Colorado Springs, a decent-sized airport that has several flight options. But if you want to take a charter, you don't feel like driving up to Denver, parking and all that, and you want to take a charter flight, they do offer those now from Pueblo. And I think it's a 30-minute flight, hops you right up to Denver. You can take a flight out of Denver once you do your layover there. So that's an option. And I just wanted to kind of give you this bigger picture here in terms of where is Pueblo on the map in general? Where is it? It's not around Denver. It's not a suburb of Denver. It's not even a suburb of Colorado Springs. Pueblo is Pueblo. And the further south you go, it's just one of those cities that you hit, 111,000 people. And then the further south you go, it gets smaller and smaller in terms of population of the cities that are below us. So we're going to below us south. So as I was saying, there are different sides to Pueblo. So this Belmont is really considered the north side, even though, as you can see, it's really its own section. So is University. University is actually where our college is. And then we have the east side, the lower east side. This is going to be the county. So in the county is where you're going to see the farms, and you're going to have, which is actually really cool because you can go out there in the fall especially and get fresh chilies and pumpkins, and they have pretty much like living farmers markets out there that are always open. You can go visit the farms and get fresh fruits and vegetables. So that's a nice thing to have. And it's pretty close as far as the north side goes, where we just filmed. From here to here is going to be probably like 20 minutes. That one's going to be a little bit on the further side just because this is a little bit more out of the way. But what I like about Pueblo and what I can say for it from a factual standpoint is that there's a lot of ways to get to the main roads that are interconnected. So you have the boulevard, you have I-25. So this is the boulevard, this is I-25, and then you have Highway 50. These are kind of the main veins that run through Pueblo. And then of course, Business 50 runs out into the county, and it actually kind of loops around and runs over here on the other side. It's separated by some canals, and as you can see, some greenery right there, but it is the same Business 50 highway that kind of loops back in to one if you're going further east. So the north side, it is going to be, well, it's north, right? So you're a little bit closer. You're about 15 minutes closer if you want to go to Colorado Springs, because you're not traveling from the south side over here. And this is actually where they hold the state fair. You can see that. I think it's funny, they labeled the state fair here, but they did not mention that the south side of Pueblo is this area right here. And then of course we'll talk about the reservoir here in a second. So
we have these main veins of 50, 25, business 50. Okay, so those are kind of the easy ways, and I'm sorry, the boulevard, to get to where you need to go. 96 is it's interesting because it's Thatcher on this side, and then the further you get towards the reservoir, it turns into Highway 96. The further you get towards Pueblo downtown, it turns from Thatcher into Lincoln to 4th Street. And so it's kind of funny. It just kind of keeps it's the same road, and it just keeps morphing into different names as you go down towards I-25. So it's 4th Street when you get off of I-25. And I believe actually you can't get off 4th, like onto 4th Street directly from 25. It's either 6th or I believe there's one more street up that I, at this moment, can't think of what the actual name is. But so this is like a main one too that will take you to the reservoir. But when you're on the north side, you can catch any of these relatively quickly, right? Like Highway 50 is actually what runs through the north side. You can see that's pretty close here. And then you can catch from Highway 50, I-25 to go up to Springs or Denver or wherever you might need to go if you're going north. And so from Pueblo West, which is an up and coming area that we recently filmed in as well, it's becoming quite large. Pueblo West is really 3 exits where it starts. So it starts here on Purcell Boulevard. You have a second exit on McCulloch, and then another 3rd exit, which is McCulloch West. So from the north side, it's really easy because once you jump on 50 here, clean all this up. Once you jump on 50, this little gap right here, maybe 5 minutes, and then you're already at the first exit of Pueblo West. So the north side is pretty easy to get to Pueblo West. It's a lot closer. Then if you go the south side, you just have to take the boulevard to 50 and then 50 over. So it's about a 10 to 15 minute drive. Now, depending on how far you go into Pueblo West, Pueblo West goes back. It goes back there way, west. And so depending on how far you're going in, that's going to add more and more time. I know people that from my house over here, they live kind of more out here. And so it is a 20 to 25 minute drive easily. And then, of course, if you keep going west, you will actually hit Penrose and Cañon City. That's kind of the next place over here. So we have Cañon City here, Penrose here, and that's going to be along 50. So Cañon City is probably half the size of Pueblo. But again, an up-and-coming area. Cañon City is really well known. You'll see Buckskin Joe here for the Royal Gorge. So if you've ever seen anything about the Royal Gorge, it's pretty cool because it has a giant and one of the highest bridges in the world, and they have that there. They've got zip lining there. It's beautiful red rock. There's so much to do. There's gold panning, there's river rafting. So a lot of people like to go here, especially if you like the outdoors. You will see quite a few people there in the summertime, especially. They've got horseback rides, they've got train rides that are really beautiful. So that's a fun attraction that's not too far actually from Pueblo. And if you're on the north side, you quickly jump on 50 because, like I said, 50 kind of runs through the north side. And then you take that over to Cañon City. If you're going all the way west to almost Highway 9, which is kind of where Royal Gorge is, that's going to be about a 45-minute drive. Maybe closer to an hour, but about 45 minutes if you're truly on the north side of Pueblo and you just go straight west. So like we've shared before, Pueblo is pretty easy to get around because, like I said, there's main veins and they kind of interconnect. And as you can see here, where Pueblo's been really developed, you can see all these little blocks here, right? So it's easy to jump on any one of these streets and really kind of take it back or over to the next side of town or back to a certain side of town, or, it's just all interconnected. So it's not hard to maneuver around Pueblo. And the north side, like I said, is really close to Highway 50. So one of the good things that they've done as far as development here in Pueblo is they have done a good job of kind of spreading out all of the different amenities here. So as far as restaurants go, especially restaurants or grocery stores, they really have hit kind of the main places of where it's in between. So you'll have a grocery store here on the north side, you'll have a grocery store here on the south side, a grocery store. Actually, there's another one over here on the north side as well. And I think they're actually getting ready to move it and make it bigger and newer. And so there's also Walmart. So Pueblo West has a super Walmart The south side of Pueblo has a super Walmart. The north side of Pueblo has a super Walmart. So there really isn't a shortage when it comes to having the resources to go shopping and do any of that stuff. So if you're looking to, can I get my groceries quickly? Absolutely, because you're going to have not only grocery stores, but then you have the Walmart supercenters. The south side actually even has a neighborhood market that's from Walmart. So you have that option as well. There are chain restaurants. We now have, Jack in the Box. We just got Whataburger. We're getting a second Whataburger. They have developed, if you're on the north side, this is actually kind of cool. So they've developed this area that goes further over in 25. And back there, they've created a travel center for people coming off the highway, which has Black Bear Diner, Del Taco. So they've done a good job of really building that out. It has a giant Love's gas station. And there's supposed to be more that's going into there. One of the other things they're talking about building in Pueblo, just a side note, not necessarily close to the north side because it's going to be over here off to the west of the south side, but they are going to do a Jellystone Park, which is a huge water park, RV park. So that's coming here in the next, I'd say, year or two. It's going to take a while to break ground and get it all built up, but that's going to be a large attraction for Pueblo as well. So as far as the north side is concerned, I mean, like I said, everything in Pueblo, they've done a great job of kind of splitting it out. We just got a Dutch Brothers coffee here on the south side, but they already broke ground for one that is kind of closer to downtown. So if there's something on the north side you don't want, I mean, there's tons of chain restaurants, there's Crumble Cookie, there's grocery stores, there's pretty much everything you need. It's pretty well built up on that side of town. I don't think there's much other than just a different name to a restaurant or something that you might want. You might want one restaurant, you might want a Dickie's Pit Barbecue, which is on the north side, over something of barbecue on the south side. You're not going to have a shortage, is what I'm saying, of places to eat and options to shop. And then we have the Pueblo Mall that is also on the north side of town. So that's going to be right around here, as you can see, pretty close there. It's the north side, so you'll have that as well. So the mall's over there. They've got a Walmart. There's like a Texas Roadhouse, and even Pueblo West is really. And sorry, we got updates coming here on our computer soon, so you might be seeing that pop up on the screen. But even Pueblo West is really, really well developed and continuing to develop. So they actually put a super Walmart out there a long time ago, several years ago, probably close to 15 years ago at this point, and have just built it up ever since. And one of the things that Pueblo West can say is there's a lot of locally owned things out there. There's a really cool place called Shiver and Shake, that's got its own, shaved ice and artesian milkshakes. So they're really fun, really good. And then you've got Marie's, which we covered recently in a video when we were in Pueblo West, and they have, delicious cakes and lunch. And so there's a lot of like family-owned businesses out there. There's delis and donut places, and they're all family-owned. They're not the chain restaurants. So that's a little bit unique and not very far from the north side. But as far as the north side is concerned, you're going to be able to get pretty much anywhere you need to in Pueblo relatively quickly. I would say, north side to Pueblo West, again, 10 minutes, depending on how far out you're going, 15 to 20 if you're going really far out west. North side to the south side, 10 to 15 minutes. North side to east side, 10 to 15 minutes. North side to the county where you're going to have the farms and a lot more land outside city limits. That's going to be 15 to 20 minutes. And then north side to like lower east side, or even a little bit further south, like the furthest part of the south side, 15 minutes. So it's funny because Pueblo, most places have suburbs, and then there's even more, and you have to go even further to get to the next suburb, right? Pueblo's just not like that. It's different sides of town. And then it's basically just kind of all, like you can see here, that pretty much covers, there's like four corners essentially, other than Pueblo West, which is out here, and it's kind of becoming its own city. And Pueblo West is considered outside of city limits. They're actually not within city limits. But as far as the north side is concerned, you've got shopping, you've got plenty of options for groceries, things to do at the mall. There's, a trampoline place. There's parks that have the vendor booths and farmers markets. And they're like I said, building, a Dutch Brothers out there, and they've just got a bunch of new restaurants that hit out there. There's lots of outdoor shopping, interior mall shopping. So there's no shortage of much living on the north side. But really, because Pueblo is built the way that it is, you're not going to have a shortage of much anyways, no matter where you live, because it's all just so quaintly placed. That's not going to be a problem. So I hope this helps you today. And if you are looking to move, in the near future or even a while from now, but you just want some questions answered, want to reach out and have a chat with us, grab our contact information from the description box below. Feel free to reach out anytime. We look forward to helping you make that a smooth move. And in the meantime, maybe we'll see you around Pueblo.